Michael Woodhouse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the question that was posed by Mr. Hodgson, why are we having this referendum, the answer to me is quite simple. Because there was a genuine misunderstanding that the law required only a review, and that the popular perception was that a referendum would be held in 2002, and that was what the review conducted by, I think led by Jonathan Hunt, the Right Honourable Jonathan Hunt in 2001 acknowledged. Even the submitters that were opposed to a further referendum went on to say that the reasons most of them were opposed to that referendum was because it was too soon, and that a referendum should be held later on. Well, we drifted through the first decade of this millennium and there was no appetite by our friends on the other side for doing so, but the simple fact is this: National believed a referendum was the right thing to do, it campaigned on it, and it is delivering on that promise.
20 years later.
Now, many of the members have been at pains to be neutral about what they think about proportional representation or MMP. I'm not. I am a supporter of proportional representation. In fact, my very presence here depends on it, at least in this parliamentary session. I have every expectation that won't be the problem after 2011. But only time will tell in that respect. But listen, one of the things that I'm very concerned about is not so much the proportional representation as such, but the thin spread of electorates, and in particular the South Island. Now, this taxed the Royal Commission, who recommended 14. We ended up with 16 statutorily in the legislation, but the urban drift, and particularly into Christchurch, is stretching those remaining electorates so large now that I think it is very, very difficult for electorate MPs to adequately get around these enormous electorates that they have. Now, I think it's fair to say that most list MPs fulfil their obligations very well in what the Speaker earlier today described as their communities of interest. I think that's a really good way of describing what list MPs do. And in fact, one would recall that there was a belief that under MMP, list MPs would be get a bit lazy and not do the level of work for as electorate MPs. I think, ironically, the opposite is the case. I have half the staff resources in my local area and look after twice the number of electorates. And being a government MP, the door is opening pretty frequently. So I think the issue of what MMP might look like if it was still preferred by the public after this referendum is a really important one. I don't agree with Mr Hipkins that it should be done before the referendum. The number of range of options is just too broad for that to be the case. But I strongly support the bill. I really look forward to the outcome of the referendum.
Paul Grant Robertson.
Thank you very much.